But here's the text competition, right? Now, this text competition is about killing.
It's sort of unpleasant.
It's about murder.
Yeah.
But not of people or anything that would be illegal. We don't want you texting in about the people you've killed.
No, we don't want to get into that.
Keep that to yourself.
Yeah, it's a legal minefield.
I'm talking about legal murder. For instance, snail killing.
Right.
Going into the garden late at night, wearing a pair of socks, treading on a snail.
Oy.
That's the most horrible thing you can do in the world.
Or even barefoot. You must have done
Barefoot's
that.
even worse, but there's something about a sock because the snail, you know, flesh goes into the sock and you've got a little wet patch of death on the heel of your sock.
Death patch.
But, you know, you tread on the snail, the crunching sound, the fact that it's not fully dead. No, it's like a man with a greenhouse on his back, and you've shattered the greenhouse and big shards of glass are slicing into his body. It's like a Dario Argento film.
Oh.
And and what can you do?
Well, you
Cry
could-
for the snail?
You could kind of treat it like a Jaffa cake, and you could peel the bits of shell
Why would you want to do that?
off the back. I'm not suggesting you
That's a
eat
sort
the
of
thing.
Buffalo Bill kind of thing to do.
No, but you might be able to save him. That's what I'm saying.
I was looking for ideas like, has anybody ever tried to superglue the shell back together? If you hadn't killed the snail underneath fully, you could rescue the snail and then get superglue and try and piece the snail back together, or maybe just get a cotton reel and stick it on the top of the snail and hope it doesn't notice. Maybe I tell you what to do, a Kinder Egg shell.
That's a good idea.
Get one of those yellow Kinder Egg shells, cut a hole in either end, pop the snail in. It'll be the bell of the snail ball. Oh, Mandy, where do you get that yellow shell?
Look at your new shell.
It's lovely.
Is that a prefab? I trod on a frog.
Oh, that's bad. Treading on a frog.
But that's really bad, though, isn't it? Because people keep frogs as pets. It was accidental. Again, it was a nighttime thing, and I'd gone out into the garden barefoot on one hot summer night and accidentally squished this frog. But, you know, sorry, all my stories go a bit weird and dark. I don't think I completely got the guy. You know, I just felt a crunching under my foot and immediately went, oh, my God! And, you know, and then I just went into the house in disgust, and the next day it was gone. So I think it must have crawled off.
You think it would... Oh, that's disturbing.
So listen, this has already got into quite a weird area. Mainly my fault, I have to admit.
This is Adam and Joe, XFM, London's 104.9. We've been asking you to text in, accidental animal death. You know, treading on snails, treading on frogs, and frankly, listeners, we're getting some quite disturbing stuff in.
It's opened up the trauma floodgates.
I mean, it's that, you know, everybody as a kid has to experience mortality one way or another, and usually it's not through killing a person.
No, you know, everyone has a dark side.
Well, now, hang on, Adam, again, you're making a massive leap. I'm talking about accidental killing, not the emergence of someone's dark side to voluntarily kill something.
I'm saying that...
I'm talking about involuntary killing.
I know, but it's all sort of linked. You've got to kill
It's
the
not
thing.
linked.
Kill the things.
I'm co-presenting with a madman.
The fluffy, kill them.
So listen, here we go. Here's one from Little Jason. Little Jason is already the name of a serial killer. Little Jason this afternoon was sentenced to life. So listen, Little Jason says this. I used to work on a duck farm when I was a wee boy, and once had to put one out of its misery as it was crushed and nearly dead. So, I picked it up by its legs and smashed it over a rock. I cried for about 20 minutes.
That's pretty
Yours, Little Jason. Jeepers creepers.
Prison.
But at least he cried for 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but the smashing over a rock doesn't really marry with the crying for 20 minutes.
No,
bit,
because
does it?
he was doing his duty. Same
Was
as
he?
me with the... I had to, I was nothing.
Here's another one. I once crushed the class gerbil at school under my knee when I was 9. Crushed it accidentally under the knee. Then, in order not to be caught, put it under a rock to pretend it had fallen under it. How do you fall under a rock?
That's what he'd tell the
Accidentally
cops.
trip. You'd have to have a wedge-shaped head and fall with quite a lot of velocity to actually land under a rock.
You'd have to be on a skateboard heading towards the rock and then fall forward.
It's usually the rock that does the
hurtle under
falling,
the
isn't
rock.
it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but there we go. He or she was only... Martin in South Norwood. Thanks for that. My cat drank green paint from the shed when we lived in Ireland. I still suspect my parents.
No.
Says James in Enfield. James, you've got unresolved issues with your parents. Why would they kill your cat by forcing paint down its throat?
That's insanity. If your parents are the kind of people who would do that, then there's bigger problems.
And why would the cat drink the paint? No, the cats talk like that because they can't articulate. They got no lips.
It's glossy.
It's glossy, yeah. It's glossy. That's what they'd like, the glossiness.
Yeah, because they think it was good for their coat.
I mean, white paint they might mistake for milk, but green paint, what is it? Avocado soup? Avocado soup.
Yeah.
I've trod on 3 frogs, twice in bare feet. They make a strange popping noise, and you end up doing that crazy stubbed toe, oh my god, dance.
That's right.
That's true. Well, that's the worst thing about treading on snails. You tread on one, feel remorse, step backwards, tread on another.
Yeah.
It's like a dance of death. But we've been asking for your texts for, like, accidental animal, insect and reptile murder, and the response has been quite disturbingly huge. I don't think we've ever got as many texts for anything we've ever done before.
It's a very important formative part of every young person's life, I think.
People are killing animals left, right and centre out there.
I think it's better to deal with death on a pet basis than, like, kill a taxi driver or something, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. It's a toss-up. It's a balance. Swings and roundabouts. Carl JJ from Harrow says, I stood on my budgie when I was 7 by accident. I stood on my budgie. How do you do that by accident?
Was the budgie asleep on the floor?
But I didn't kill it. My mum had to wring its neck to make sure it didn't suffer. Or try and crawl to my bed and peck my eyes out as I slept. Good old mum, keeping you safe at night from zombie budgies.
That's the thing you worry about, is the retribution. I was in fear of the frog community for ages after I crushed the frog under my foot. You know what I'm saying? You just think, man, they've got it in for me now, and there's loads of them, and they could easily gang up, and who knows?
My dad, when he was just a boy, once threw an unripe quince at his neighbour's cat. Only a dad would throw a quince.
Especially an unripe one.
Hang on, I've lost it. His neighbour's cat. And the cat was bothering his dog. The idea was to scare the cat of his proper tea, but he accidentally hit it on the head. He quickly buried it. He lied to his neighbours when they came round asking whether he'd seen their moggy. He's always worried that maybe the quince only knocked the cat out and he buried it alive!
Well, I was gonna
like
say.
Stephen King's Pet Sematary.
That's a nightmare.
Lethal quinces. He quickly buried it. Quickly. Shut up! That's
From then on,
disturbing.
he was
Poor
probably
old dad.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Quincy, the doctor of death.
Quincy, I once ran over a family of weasels.
A whole family?
They were crossing the road in a line, so I had nowhere to go. I was quite distressed. Toby from Muswell Hill. Toby, you should have killed yourself, mate. Yeah. You should have just pulled the wheel firmly to the left, flipped the car, given your life. What makes you better than a weasel?
Wow.
You're an arrogant man, Toby in Muswell Hill, typical of people who live in Muswell Hill.
Muswell?
Muswell. Yes.
Muswell.
That's not true, Toby. You're a great guy and you deserve to live.
Listen, weasels. They're weasels, for
Weasels, sorry,
goodness sake.
mate.
They're weasels.
Well, you're right. Weasel is a word used to describe
Exactly.
a person with low morals.
They're rotters.
They just said they live to die.
They
Those
welcome
weasels.
death with open arms, even a whole family.
This is a good one from Pete. I ran over a deer in the countryside. I had to finish it off with my bare hands. My wife vomited. The beef and Guinness pie I'd spent all day cooking. Imagine that scene. Strangling the deer. The wife vomiting. Jesus, darling, I'm killing it. That's a proper sort of primeval moment, isn't it? It's like something out of Clan of the Cave Bear.
Nightmare.